Welcome to Voyage Consulting and Business Solutions After Hours Ask the Expert series. I am Margarita Estrada, CEO of Voyage, and with me are my colleagues, Darlene Blanco, CEO, and Mario Lewis, CFO. Thank you for joining us from the Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific time zones. We are so happy that you are here. Remember to grow your business with Voyage, ignite your career with Voyage, and start your voyage well today. For value-added content, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Start Your Voyage, and follow us on LinkedIn. So tonight we're going to discuss a topic that I would say is off the beaten path, yet extremely important. Art in the workplace. Let me give you a little background. According to an article written by Chloe Adams on LinkedIn, David Rockefeller was the first one to use art in the workplace, specifically at Chase Manhattan Bank. Everybody thought he was crazy, but soon every other office building had art on their walls and art installations in their lobbies and so on. Why is this? Why is this happening? And what is the value of this? During the pandemic in 2020, people started working from home. And guess what? They started buying art for their walls. So there's something to it where art creates a sense of belonging and feeling that somehow you not only are you valued, but that you have intelligence and that you're able to bring out the best of yourself. What does art have to do with strategic thinking? What does it have to do with connection to others? And what does it have to do with self-advocacy? We are going to discuss this tonight. So, Mario, take it away.
I'm sure. I love the way you think creatively, Margaret. You're definitely the creative one out of the group. And this is a unique and innovative way to think about the impact of art on creating an environment and creating the workplace. Um, I've been at so many different banks, and banks have always been great collectors of art. So that great historical piece that you've identified with regarding David Rockefeller and Chase Manhattan Bank, these banks have wonderful art collections, and they use the opportunity to, one, they're great assets, and secondly, they display it on their wall because it creates culture. It creates an environment for thoughtful and strategic thinking that is required to make banks successful. And also, in the places where you host clients, it also encourages clients to do business with you because it creates an environment. But let's delve a little bit deeper into the items that you identified. So, how does art help to boost strategic thinking and innovation? Because it creates an environment of creativity, and that's what most firms, most organizations, most places want to have in their environment. So, from a foundational basis, it does help with the thinking and creativity and innovative processes that are natural to most companies. I'll give it to Darlene to kind of building on that comment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that I'm all about thinking strategy. And when I'm thinking strategic, I'm saying to myself, if there's no artwork around to help inspire folks, it can really be like, oh my gosh, where are we creating this environment? Remember, strategy starts with what? It starts with our mindset. We have to really be in the zone, thinking a different way. So, art and creativity in our workplace and environment is a great place to continue to stir that up in people. As leaders, we're meant to inspire. So, sometimes even small little changes that you can make, bringing in artwork into your office, can create a buzz. Gets people chatting. It's a great conversation place, creates a conversation nook. And the one thing that I appreciate about art is the fact that you learn about perspective. Everyone who stands in front of a glorious piece of artwork will have a different take on what feelings or emotions or just what does that piece of art do to inspire them. Again, we want to create innovative spaces in our workplace. And those kinds of environments are structured around conversations, bringing people together to talk about something different other than the stress of maybe their work environment. This could really be a great way to foster that innovation.
Excellent, Darlene. And I'm going to expand on that a little bit because I've seen in some companies how depending on the department that you work for, they have different types of art for each department. For example, those that are in the PR and marketing scheme, their art tends to be very colorful and more structured. Whereas if the art pieces that are, let's say, in engineering and architecture tend to be more abstractions. Think of someone like Jason Pollock that threw coffee grinds and paint and everything he could think of on a canvas. But those are the types that are usually in engineering departments and so on, because that's what creates uh, art that is engaging and out of the box thinking. So I wanted to expand on that a little bit. So now let's get into connection to art others. How does art connect people? Mario.
Wonderful question. I love to talk about how to make deeper, lasting, more fulfilling human connections. I think when there's art on the wall, and just like walking through a museum, it helps start conversations. And the point you raised earlier that it brings out some of the diversity in thinking of people, because so many people can look at one piece of art or multiple and come up with different views, different concepts. Um, but it is in the sharing of those views, the ability to connect around them, as well as be able to creatively disagree, is how we
A
create
good one.
connections. Absolutely. So I think it helps to build social bonds. Empty walls, I think, result in often in empty minds. Yeah. I mean, just think about the way you treat your home. I mean, if you want your kids, your family, people come over, it often starts, I shouldn't say often, it frequently starts the conversation that begins down the path of creating a bond. And also in corporate environments, it helps to set the culture, the tone. I mean, I've been in different European banks and American banks where they have certain types of galleries on their walls. It does create a shared perspective that people can reflect on. Wow, we've got a great art collection. Would you like to come up and see it? So at many of the organizations I was a part of, that was a part of the allure of the organization. That was one of the fringe benefits. So it does create a sense of connection, a sense of ownership, a sense of pride for the people who represent who are part of that company and that part of that culture. So it is important for us to use it as a form of connection to build deeper, lasting bonds. Darlene, to you.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to double down on a strategic standpoint here as you're building those bonds through conversations around artwork or things of this nature. One of the things that I think is very important is recognizing that art and creativity touches people in a different way. So
Hmm.
as you're looking to create those connectivity points, what you want to be doing is saying to yourself, wow, I'm going to have an open mind today. I want to hear a little bit about what Mario thinks of that frame there. I know what Margarita wants to share. I mean, this is where this perspective sharing comes in, and you really start to have an open mind and understand that the world is a different place in everyone's eyes. And when we can learn a little bit about those around us and what they're seeing, it really helps to share, bringing perspective into our environments. And I think that one of the things I would love to double down on is the fact that the way that we see things and the commentary that we'll make are little snippets of the way that we share our purpose with others. Because
Wow.
remember, it touched us, right? And so now we want to share like what is our purpose? And I think that that's important as we're, doubling down. Margarita, take us into that
I
commercial.
love that, Darlene. That is fantastic. I was watching a documentary about a month ago about the rebuilding of Louisiana, and specifically New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, and the companies that were built up there, the businesses. And one of the ways in which those communities came together was through art. They shared their hurts, their disappointments, and also the joy and the hope of rebuilding New Orleans. It was a powerful documentary that clearly demonstrates the power of art when it comes to shared culture and empathy and understanding towards one another. And as we move forward into this discussion,
Mhm.
it's important to realize that a world without art is, like Mario says, empty walls, empty minds, right?
Great.
I love that, Mario. That's fantastic. So now we get into self-advocacy and empowerment when it comes to art and the business world. Mario?
That's a great segue, but I want to make sure that those listening, those watching online, are able to think about this value-added content, and I'm sure that you're enjoying. I'm sure you're enjoying this innovative approach to thinking about business. So I want you to take a moment to think about how you can grow your business with Voyage, how you can ignite your career with Voyage, how you can start your Voyage today. So please continue to listen to this value-added content. Um, Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn. So, but continuing on, Margarita, how you can, I think your question was how you can use art to do self-advocacy and create empowerment. Uh, I believe it is another important tool. Like we talked about how you can use it to connect, how you can use it to solve problems. I believe that when you allow your employees to engage in helping to determine what stays up on the wall, you can have a open conversation on the type of art that is represented in your organization. That also creates a sense of ownership. It creates a sense of self-advocacy. And think about it, you can now help your organization go out and find new artists to support and sponsor.
Oh, good.
I think about some of the times in the places where we speak or places where we congregate, you have an opportunity to share what's represented in the lobby of the building in which you work. So you can create that really creates a sense of ownership and empowerment for the teams. Because then again, you are now a part of helping to set what the culture, the visual culture looks like in spaces in which you work, which is often very critical in creating an environment that everyone can be successful. I'll hand it to you, Darlene.
I love it. I love it. I'm getting all these tingly feelings. I love it because we're talking about all the things that really move me. I get a lot of, just wonderful, passionate ideas around how to really create culture. And each and every one of us is a culture-oriented person. So bring it with you, help build it. Don't complain about what's missing from it. Be a part of bringing it together and bring your ideas and share your creativity with others and really just understand that perception like we talked about and understanding and just looking at the world in a different way can really be something that's eye-opening. And I learned a lot of times in my personal experience when I was turned off to things, or I would, just like, oh, I don't want to know about that. Oh, he's just crazy, or she's just crazy. Like, put people in like a crazy box. I'm like, okay, well, how are they thinking about this? Let me just understand that a little bit more.
Mhm.
And there's where our strategy really comes in, understanding folks in a different way and inviting that inclusivity to being an advocate of that inclusivity. Because I think that when we behave that way, it's contagious. People feel good around us. We want to continue to build that energy and have that permeate through all the circles that we're in. And I think that everybody listening tonight, the next time you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, what's missing in this mix? Be inspired to, maybe be that person that can share and advocate.
Remember that we are a work of art, each one of us. Before we walk out the door, look at yourself in the mirror. How do I look? Does this color enhance me? Does it make me feel good? I am a work of art. So this is how people see you when you put a smile on your face. You wear colors that you feel make you attractive, make you feel good and have energy and vitality. You become the work of art even before you go into your workplace. Once you go in your workplace, of course, all the artwork that's around you enhances what you already have. But you are the work of art. Because of you, voice and identity is created. Because of you, there is diversity and voice and how you show up for others as well as yourself, and the value that you bring to the people around you. You allow self-expression. You allow them to have a voice in who you are and what your business is about. And you allow that sense of collaboration and inclusivity, right? 360 EER model, inclusivity, collaboration, and this is where the art blends into your everyday life. Mario?
This is beautiful. I really enjoyed this program because coming into it, I hadn't thought about all these diverse aspects of how art impacts us so directly. And I hadn't previously thought about the self-advocacy part because I've been a part of organizations where, like, for example, like during Black History Month or Latin History Month, you help define artists who can support those concepts and things, and you bring them into your organization. And it talks, and that's another part of ownership, creating using art to our advantage, using art as a strategy for success, for creating that inclusivity that Darlene so eloquently talked about. And then thinking about how we can use it for connection, how we can use it for help us to think strategically. I mean, this is pretty innovative type of thinking that um, you use the tools around you from your environment to again create the culture that you're looking for. And that's what we're all looking to do. Create environments where we can all be successful, where we can thrive, that where we can level up, so and where we can have deeper connections. So great program tonight. So I'll hand it to Darlene to help us through.
Yeah, well, we're going to close it up, but I just also want to remind folks that when you're being an information share, when you're advocating about an idea that you have, remember, not everybody has that same tool and ability. So, as a leader, remember the folks around you that had a great idea and maybe they were shy to speak up. And maybe you can advocate for them. And
Yeah.
I think that's important. I want to continue to elevate others. And as we're talking about perception of things and different ways that we take in art and conversation streams. So remember, if you have a colleague in the room with you that oh my gosh, they had such a wonderful idea and the conversation queue is right there, shout them out. Say, hey, you should talk to such and such. They actually worked on this really great project, around this, so I think elevating others, I want to close with that because as we're all so conscious of like being able to share our ideas and listen, those around us may be struggling, and it's our duty to really help elevate them when we're thinking about our leadership practice. So, on that note, we will take you to next week. We're bringing our program to a close. Thank you so much for being with us. And remember to start your voyage today. Become a Voyage Insider today.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. Don't wait. Today. Good night, everyone.